Hey there, my savvy travel crew, and welcome back. I'm Mila, your high flying insider with 15 years in the skies, serving everything from coffee to emergency first aid at 35,000 feet. If this is your first time here, consider this a big virtual wing hug. Today, we're diving into something that might just change the way you fly forever: how to pick the best seat, the real insider secrets airlines don't want you to know. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't it just clicking on that colorful seat map and hoping for the best? That's what most people do, and that's exactly why they end up sandwiched between two snorers, stuck next to a perpetually flushing toilet, or discovering that their premium seat doesn't recline. Here's the truth: all your seat selection so far has been playing exactly into the airline's hands. They have a meticulously designed system that manipulates availability, holds prime seats hostage, and quietly hides the seats that give you the most comfort, space, and peace. And this isn't some conspiracy theory, it's professional knowledge I've gained over a decade and a half of flying. Have you ever noticed certain seats always appear occupied online, only to magically be empty when boarding? That's the first clue. By the end of this video, you'll have a battle-tested seat selection blueprint that helps you avoid trap seats, snag better seats for free, and even unlock hidden premium seats without paying a dime. Sounds like cheating? Nope. It's just being a smart traveler, understanding the psychology and systems the airlines use, and playing the game in your favor. Before we get started, I want to hear from you. What's your worst seat disaster? Was it a noisy bathroom neighbor, a middle seat squeezed like a sardine, or that one seat that refused to recline? Drop your stories in the comments. I'll share the most dramatic ones in a future video so we can all learn from your pain. And if you're ready to uncover more secrets airlines would rather keep hidden, like dodging baggage fees or getting flight attendants to treat you like royalty, hit subscribe and ring the bell. All right, let's unlock this seating code. Step 1, the myth of the fully booked flight. That, oh no, all the good seats are gone panic. Most of the time, it's a strategic illusion. Airlines lock key seats for safety, families, or elite upgrades. The real trick is patience, timing, and knowing exactly when and how to pounce on those releases. Now that you understand the myth of a fully booked flight, it's time to unlock the first real power player in your seat selection game: the gate agent. Yes, the person behind the counter at boarding holds the ultimate key to your comfort. Airlines might advertise seat maps, but the gate agent controls the final manifest and the last 30 minutes before boarding. They can shift passengers, open blocked seats, and help you avoid the middle seat misery you dread. Your job is simple: approach them politely and strategically. Picture this: your boarding pass says 35B, the dreaded middle seat. Instead of slumping down and resigning yourself to shoulder discomfort, step up, smile, and ask, "Hi, I'm Mila. I see I'm in 35B. Are any aisle seats near the front available? I struggle with middle seats on long flights." That's it. That short, courteous, specific request is all it takes. The gate agent sees you as reasonable, cooperative, and mindful of their job. They know if they help you on the ground, you're less likely to cause delays in flight, constantly switching seats or asking for assistance. Suddenly, a previously blocked aisle seat becomes yours. Boom. Free upgrade, zero hassle. Next, let's talk about trap seats. Not all seats are created equal. Some look good online, but are secretly the worst on the plane. First, avoid the last row. You may think you're getting extra legroom, but often those seats don't recline because the bulkhead of the lavatory or galley is behind you. You're upright the entire flight, and trust me, that's brutal on a long haul. Second, steer clear of seats directly next to a galley or lavatory wall. Yes, you may get a little extra space, but you'll also inherit constant noise, lights, and traffic as passengers and crew move through that area. If sleep is important, these are pure torture. Third, beware of broken or obstructed windows. Some aircraft have structural frames or gaps between windows that block the view or force you into uncomfortable angles to see outside. The pro move? Research your plane model ahead of time using detailed seat mapping websites, and flag any seats with limited views. Now let's dive into the exit row conundrum. Everyone loves extra legroom, but there are hidden catches. On double-door exit rows, the structural pillar between doors can limit foot space. You might stretch your legs, but you're wedged against the pillar in a slightly awkward position. And don't forget the FAA rules. All items under the seat must be stowed during takeoff and landing. That includes your water bottle, backpack, or even your purse. If you love having easy access to your things, an exit row might be a compromise rather than a free luxury. Choose wisely, single door exit rows, or sit strategically between the pillar seats to maximize comfort. Here's a clever tactic the pros use: the seating buffer strategy. Airlines know most travelers book window and aisle seats first, leaving the middle seat as a last-minute pick. You can use this to your advantage. If traveling as a pair, book an aisle and a window seat in the same row, leaving the middle seat empty. Most solo travelers avoid the B seat until the last moment. Best case scenario, you enjoy a free middle space, stretching out with room to spare. Even if someone eventually claims it, a polite swap request with the passenger usually works. It's a strategic, psychological hack that costs nothing but requires planning and awareness. Finally, consider the back of the plane advantage. Many assume the front is the fastest for exit, but for long-haul flights, the back can be a haven. Noise is often lower in the third to fifth rows from the rear, after meal service and crew movements have tapered off. And if your flight requires a bus transfer at the destination, sitting near the back can actually get you off first and to the terminal faster than those in front. The trick is knowing which flights this applies to and pairing it with your boarding strategy. Now that you know how to leverage the gate agent, decode trap seats, master exit row strategies, and use the seating buffer, it's time to get into some of the more subtle, often overlooked hacks that the pros swear by. Let's talk about the no-kid zone and how to find quiet stretches of the cabin, especially on long flights. Families naturally gravitate toward bulkhead rows because those are where the bassinets attach and where strollers and small children are easiest to manage. That means the first row in each cabin section is often a loud hotspot. If you want peace, avoid these rows. But it's not just about avoiding chaos. It's about choosing your cabin section strategically. Mid-cabin or aft sections often have secondary bulkhead rows that are less populated with families. Checking the specific aircraft seating chart can reveal these hidden pockets, giving you a calmer flight without paying extra. The next trick is all about timing and planning. We've already discussed that the fully booked seat map is a mirage, and that the gate agent is your best friend, but there's also a psychological aspect to consider: passenger patterns. People naturally cluster toward windows and aisles. They avoid middle seats. That human behavior creates opportunities for smart travelers. If you're flying with a companion, book the aisle seat and have your partner book the window. You leave the middle seat intentionally open. Most solo passengers won't touch it until the very last minute. You now have a mini row to yourselves. If someone does eventually sit there, a polite, "Would you mind switching with my partner so we can sit together?" works almost every time. Human psychology is your ally. Most travelers prefer to help rather than be a nuisance. Let's also discuss the back half of the plane. There's a misconception that the front is always best because you exit faster, but on long-haul flights, those rear rows often offer quiet zones. The rows immediately in front of the last bulkhead, away from galley traffic, become surprisingly serene after meal service ends. Combine this with the chance of an empty row in the back half of the plane, and suddenly you've got space, quiet, and the potential to stretch your legs without disturbing anyone. Another pro tip: if the flight parks at a remote stand and requires a bus transfer, the rear door often unloads first, which can get you to the terminal faster. On long journeys, back half seating paired with strategic seat selection is a winning formula. Now let's get into situational awareness for comfort and efficiency. The smart traveler checks the overhead bin for space, but they also scan the aisle and their immediate surroundings. Are there passengers who will need assistance? Do crew members seem likely to pass through your row frequently? The first 3 minutes after boarding are crucial. The people who plan and move efficiently here avoid future stress, whether it's negotiating for space, retrieving personal items, or ensuring access to the restroom. Efficiency is invisible to most passengers, but it's the hallmark of pro-level boarding. And don't forget about the window seat pitfalls. Some structural elements of the aircraft can block the view or force you into awkward positions. The smart traveler does homework. A quick search for the specific aircraft model, Boeing 777, Airbus A350, or others, reveals which windows are obstructed. Knowing this prevents disappointment and discomfort before takeoff. It's that small bit of preparation that separates someone who enjoys their flight from someone stuck, craning their neck for a glimpse outside. Lastly, consider light and airflow. Cabin climate control is often ignored, yet it affects comfort dramatically. Smart passengers adjust their personal air vent as soon as they settle. This punka creates a personal airflow shield, keeping air fresh, reducing stuffiness, and even deflecting nearby sneezes. It's a small, subtle move, but it demonstrates awareness and control over your environment, setting the stage for a comfortable journey. By combining strategic row choice, seating buffer techniques, rear cabin advantages, structural awareness, and airflow management, you're no longer at the mercy of the airline. You're a calculated, proactive traveler, setting yourself up for maximum comfort and minimal stress. These are the next layer of hacks the airlines won't teach you. They're reserved for seasoned insiders who understand the choreography of smart boarding and seating. Once you've mastered seat selection, buffer strategies, and cabin awareness, it's time to take your boarding efficiency to the next level with personal prep moves that make a huge difference during the flight. These are small, intentional actions that separate a truly smart traveler from someone who just survives their flight. Let's start with what I call the tuck and pull technique. The rookie passenger typically throws their big roller bag into the bin, sits down immediately, and starts unpacking whatever they need. Headphones, tablet, book, medications. They fumble and disturb the flow of everyone boarding behind them. The smart traveler, on the other hand, does all their unpacking before sitting. They lift their roller bag into the bin, then grab the smaller items they'll need during the flight. Tablet, headphones, water bottle, a small snack, maybe a pack of gum, and place them in their lap or under the seat. Only then do they sit. This keeps the aisle clear, reduces stress, and ensures that once seated, they won't have to stand again. A simple accessory makes this move even easier: a Go pouch. This is a small zippered bag inside your carry-on that holds just your essentials. You pull it out once, stow it neatly, and you're done. No rummaging, no shouting over neighbors, no causing delays. This small organizational step is one of the most overlooked hacks in efficient boarding, but it prevents frustration for everyone, including the crew. Speaking of the crew, don't underestimate the power of acknowledging us. A simple hello or nod as you board doesn't just signal politeness, it gets you on the crew's radar as a calm, aware passenger. That small human connection can make interactions during the flight smoother, especially if you need assistance later. Next, we have the aisle dip. This is all about flow. Think of the aisle as a highway. The moment you reach your row, step into your seat zone fully and clear the aisle. Adjust your jacket, stow your small items, and then complete your tuck and pull. Doing this keeps other passengers moving efficiently, prevents bottlenecks, and demonstrates that you're a considerate traveler. The difference between someone who clogs the aisle and someone who glides through is just these few intentional seconds of planning. Another pro-level move is the sanity wipe down. Before you buckle in, grab a sanitizing wipe and quickly clean your armrest, tray table, seatbelt buckle, and entertainment controls. Planes get minimal cleaning between flights, and even on a new aircraft, the last passenger may have left behind crumbs, sticky residue, or worse. A 30-second wipe gives you peace of mind and creates a cleaner, more comfortable personal space. Now, let's talk about the air vent. Many passengers think the plane's recycled air is dirty and turn off their vent, but this is a mistake. The air is filtered through hospital-grade HEPA systems, cleaner than most office buildings. Opening your vent, aiming it in front of your face, gives you personal airflow, breaks up stale air, and can even redirect minor particles away from you. It's a subtle move, but it adds comfort and a sense of control over your environment. Combined with your wipe-down surfaces, it's an invisible shield for a more pleasant flight. Lastly, situational awareness is crucial. The smart traveler doesn't just glance at their seat, they scan the row, note exits, and locate the nearest lavatory. They mentally calculate distances and plan for emergencies, but it doesn't take long. Counting rows to the nearest exit and scanning for obstacles gives you a clear mental map of your surroundings. This awareness is a small 5-second investment that pays off in comfort and safety, especially on long-haul flights. By combining tuck and pull, aisle dips, go pouches, wipe downs, air vent adjustments, and situational awareness, you've transformed the boarding experience from a chaotic stressor into a smooth, controlled process. Each step may seem minor, but together they create a seamless journey from the jet bridge to your seat, letting you relax, settle in, and be in command of your flight. Once you've nailed the tuck and pull, aisle dip, and air vent moves, the next smart boarding steps set you up for a comfortable, stress-free flight from takeoff to landing. Step 1 is the tech check. Once seated and settled, pull out your headphones, tablet, or phone and plug them in. Test the outlet or USB port immediately. This may seem small, but discovering a dead outlet mid-flight is frustrating and often impossible to fix. By checking early, you have time to swap seats with a neighbor or alert the crew while they can still assist safely. Smart travelers always deal with potential tech issues before the plane taxis, not during. Next, hydration is your secret weapon. Even if you've already had water in the terminal, the moment you sit, take your own bottle out and place it within reach. Cabin air is extremely dry, often less than 10% humidity, which can dehydrate you faster than you realize. The beverage service might take 30 to 45 minutes to reach your row. Being proactive with your water keeps your body functioning optimally and prevents the fatigue, dizziness, and headaches that many passengers experience early in the flight. Think of your bottle as your personal life support in the cabin's desert-like conditions. The final boarding ritual is about movement and circulation. Even with compression socks on, you must use your lower body. Start with simple in-seat exercises like the ankle alphabet, rotating your feet and flexing your calves every 30 minutes. This keeps blood flowing and reduces the risk of deep vein thrombosis. When the seatbelt sign is off, stand, stretch, and walk the aisle once per hour. Many passengers think we're annoyed when you get up, but the opposite is true. Flight attendants appreciate proactive travelers who prevent potential medical emergencies by keeping blood moving. It's a small act with a huge impact. By combining the tech check, hydration strategy, and in-seat movement, you've completed the final layer of smart boarding. These steps may seem minor individually, but together they turn the first 10 minutes of your flight into a carefully choreographed system that maximizes comfort, safety, and personal control. You've claimed your space, secured your essentials, maintained your health, and mentally prepared for the journey ahead. When you implement all these strategies, boarding is no longer a stressful chaos of bags and impatient passengers. It becomes a controlled, almost meditative process. You're no longer reacting, you're in command. You're not just a passenger, you're a professional in your own right, and that mindset transforms your flight experience completely. Now that you've mastered the tech check, hydration, and in-seat movement, it's time to pull everything together. The final piece of the smart boarding puzzle is about integration, making all these steps flow naturally so your flight starts smoothly and stays that way. Think of it as your personal boarding choreography. From the moment you step onto the plane to the moment you settle in, each action has a purpose. You've acknowledged the crew, confirmed your seat, stowed your bag efficiently, organized your essentials, dipped into your aisle space, wiped down your area, managed your air vent, checked the safety card, scanned the seat back pocket, tested your tech, and secured your water. Every single one of these steps reduces stress, prevents delays, and puts you in control of your environment. The secret to staying calm and comfortable is consistency. Make these actions your habit. Do not wait until you're on a long-haul flight to try a new system. Practice them every time you board. The repetition builds confidence. When you know your bag is stowed correctly, your seat is verified, your tech works, and your hydration is within reach, your body and mind relax. You're no longer reacting to chaos. You've anticipated it. The smart traveler doesn't need to panic about overhead bins, lost items, or getting stuck in a middle seat. You're prepared, efficient, and considerate of others. Remember, this isn't about impressing the crew or getting special treatment. It's about respecting your fellow passengers, respecting yourself, and creating a smooth, professional boarding experience. Small gestures like saying hello to Mila or any flight attendant, asking politely for a seat adjustment, or making eye contact during the process build goodwill and make your journey more enjoyable. It's a human connection that also reinforces your control over your environment. Finally, think of this as your flight insurance for comfort and sanity. If you combine seat selection knowledge, boarding strategy, and in-flight preparation, you drastically reduce stress, fatigue, and discomfort. Long flights become less daunting, layovers are easier to manage, even unexpected delays or seatmates are far less likely to ruin your experience. You are no longer just a passenger, you're a master of your own flight experience. So, the next time you see a boarding map, step onto an aircraft, or settle in for takeoff, remember this blueprint. Execute it from start to finish. Be deliberate, be organized, and be proactive. Apply all 11 strategies, and you'll notice a dramatic difference, not just in comfort, but in confidence. Flying doesn't have to be stressful. With these tools from 15 years in the skies, you can take command, enjoy your journey, and arrive relaxed, hydrated, and fully prepared to take on your destination. Thank you for watching. I'm Mila. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your boarding tips and stories in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Fly smart, fly safe.